Hey everybody, this is Muffin with the Daily Biker Podcast. Just here to let y'all know the opinions and ideas expressed in this show are those of the hosts and their guests, not to be confused with their partners and sponsors. Now, let's get it on.
Hey guys, this is Sean from the Bikes and Beards YouTube channel, and you guys are listening to the Daily Biker Podcast. You're gonna love it.
Busy at work this week. I haven't got a chance to do our...
What we really need is
It's been a week.
a phone to go to a website.
True. That is true. But then, I mean, we haven't done any research on that.
Still, conversation to be had.
There is definitely conversation to be had.
I mean, we're only talking about one country.
True. But I'm going to pose another option
The
for
second greatest country.
Since I haven't done any research on that, because I did actually have my day job that I have to work on this week,
Yeah.
I'm actually going to pose a separate topic. Something that we've touched on
Boo this man.
multiple times in the podcast, but we've never actually dedicated something to it.
They don't need to worry about what we've touched on multiple times
Oh,
in the podcast.
God.
Come over here, buddy.
All right, I'm leaving the room now.
Because I've kept seeing articles about the tiered licensing system for the United States.
Okay.
I think that's because that's something that we've never had here, and we have touched on it briefly, but
Yeah.
we've never gone into like a deep dive. Now, they haven't put out guidelines for what they want to do in the United States, but we have some foreign countries that have had dedicated guidelines.
Yeah.
You know, they'll have like a 3 or 4 tiered system. But also, there's a lot of countries where you can't get certain motorcycles. You know, if it has over a certain CC, you just can't own it. Or it's
Yeah,
cost
true.
prohibitive.
If you're listening to this and you're going to hate Daniel for wanting a tiered licensing system, send your hate mail to the Daily Biker. You can find us on Facebook or Instagram. Address it to Daniel. So,
Go ahead.
I already told you, I don't disagree with a tiered licensing
Yeah.
system.
No.
I think a better place to start, though, might be like some other states already have compared to what we have
Yeah.
here. So, to clarify by that, in the state of Tennessee, it is a do whatever you want state.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to this, you know what I need to do? Hang
I
on.
think it hasn't actually been recording.
No, it's been recording. I just didn't have it on airplane mode. Yeah, we have a pretty much a do what you want state when it comes to motorcycles. Simply meaning, in Tennessee, if you don't have a motorcycle license, okay, cool, ride your motorcycle. I'm not telling you to do that. That's just kind of how the state goes.
Yeah.
If you get a ticket and you do not have a motorcycle license, it is essentially a fix-it ticket. You'll get a ticket. You have so many days before court. If you get your license before then, you will have to pay a fee, not a fine, a fee. And I think it's like what your court cost would have been.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go against you.
It's
There's
a
nothing.
repair fee for your license not existing.
Right. It doesn't go against you or anything like that. I've heard some people talk about theirs was 30 days. I've heard other people talk about theirs was as far out as 90 days.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anybody's license ticket being more than 90 days, though.
Which
I mean, that's fair.
Makes sense for the state of Tennessee. Now, there are some states that you get pulled over on a motorcycle without a motorcycle license. You lose your regular license, too.
Yes.
Oh, damn.
And
So-
that gets suspended as well.
Also in Tennessee, they have some ground rules. I will state what I have heard. So essentially, if you work for the state and you know the ground rules, and I'm wrong, just going based on my knowledge of when I took the course and what other people have experienced. So, one, they say that you need to schedule your writing exam. Not your written, you can go take your written at any point in time. And this does not qualify for the people that have taken a motorcycle safety course to get your license. That's not this. Here, you take your motorcycle safety course, you take the paperwork, you have your license. And I think that paperwork is good for like 60 days or 90 days or something
I think it's 90 days. Actually, I think it might be a little bit longer, too.
So basically, you can ride with that piece of paper.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing that route, you go to the DMV, you can take your written test at any time. Your writing test has to be scheduled. then with your riding test, when you take your riding test, someone else needs to bring your bike to the DMV. This is what's supposed to happen. Someone needs to take your bike to the DMV, or you trailer your motorcycle because you are not a licensed rider of a motorcycle, so you do not take your own motorcycle to the DMV. Daniel, let me finish. Let me finish. After this, I'm going to say exactly what I did. Okay?
You also didn't introduce us.
I didn't even introduce the podcast.
I know.
Was that what you were trying to stop me for? No, it's not.
No, it wasn't. But
We
I
just
was going to
went-
say that too.
We just went straight
Let me
into
do this.
it.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Daily Biker Podcast. My name is Marcus. I'm your clueless leader, obviously. And I'm not hitting the candy cane tonight. I do have Daniel with the candy cane in his hand. I've got Miss Muffin.
Hey, y'all.
Back to the program. So, take your written test at any point in time. You have to schedule your riding test. Someone else needs to take your motorcycle to the DMV for your riding test, or you trailer it to the DMV. And then once you get to the DMV and you need to take your riding test, they will look at your motorcycle to make sure that it complies with all Tennessee state laws. Essentially, it has a speedometer, headlight, taillight, blinkers, and brake lights.
None of them have to work, by the way. They just
Correct.
need
They just have to have
They
them.
have to be on the motorcycle. Because I've never heard of anybody stating that they actually had to flash their high beams or anything like that. Doesn't mean they don't have to. Knowledge. And then you must proceed to, depending on where you're at in standards, for me, when I did it, the road that is currently behind the DMV on Bonnie Oaks Highway did not exist.
Yeah.
So I pulled out on the Bonnie Oaks Highway, right in front of the DMV. This is it's called Bonnie Oaks Highway. It is a 2-lane just road. Pulled out, went to the apartments, approximately 75 feet up, turned around, come back. Congratulations, I have my license. The only place I think I could have failed, no, 2 places, is one, if I dropped my motorcycle, parking lot of that apartment complex is gravel, or 2, if I didn't use my blinker pulling in or out of the parking lot of the
Oh,
DMV.
yeah.
I think that's the only places I could have failed.
Yeah.
I will say this. Was it stupid easy for me to get my license? Yes. Was I happy that it was stupid easy? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Do I think it should be that easy?
No.
Absolutely not. It does scare me a little bit. Now, when I got my license, I had only been riding a motorcycle for about 3 weeks. I had been very cautious. I knew how to ride a motorcycle. I had not rode on the road in traffic. So I was being extremely cautious. That's what I was nervous about. My very first street bike that I bought, I asked the person to bring it to my house because I would have to go through the middle of Ooltewah. Lots of traffic for anybody that knows Ooltewah.
Yeah.
So they brought the bike to my house. I took them back home. Good. Boom. Done. I lived on a straight, dead-end road where I proceeded to ride up and down the road and make circles in the cul-de-sac for about a week.
Mm-hmm.
Where then I proceeded, because I was kind of on the edge of the city, literally right starting to get to the middle of nowhere. We were on Talent Road, like getting out behind the airport.
Okay, yeah.
So it was literally like
No.
right there.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're in nothing.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're in an area where people that live there, not even sure where they live. They're like, I think I live
I think I live here.
in Ooltewah. It might be
don't
McDonald,
know.
but I have a Hamilton County address, but they tell me it's McDonald. McDonald's Bradley County. I don't know. Collegedale was here the other day. I'm confused.
Yeah.
So
That's
that being said,
accurate.
so I rode in that little area. All that. I have a 600cc sport bike I've had for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I get on it. I ride to the DMV. I go, hey, I would like to get my motorcycle license. And they go, okay, not a problem. Let's get you to take a test. And I go, okay, cool. So I do my written test. I have rode the motorcycle there. I am not expecting, because everybody told me, don't ride your bike. I have drove a car a handful of times since I've ever bought my first motorcycle. And that is a bit of an exaggeration, but anybody that knows me knows I'm not in a car very often.
No.
So I ride to the DMV, do my written test. I'm like, all right, cool. I need to schedule to do my riding test. They go, do you have your bike with you? And I go, yeah. And they go, cool, pull it around the side. We'll do it right now. And I'm like,
Oh,
they haven't
Like,
asked
okay.
anything outside the fact of, is my bike with me? Sure thing. Pull it around the side. The girl comes out. I'm on a sport bike. I'm young. I'm dumb.
yes.
I see a lady wearing a Harley studded belt and Harley boots. I go, I'm about to fail. And she immediately goes, oh, that's a pretty motorcycle. And I go, oh, thank God. And she goes, she kind of looks at the front of it, walks around, looks at the back, and goes, does the horn work? I go, beep, beep. Like, I literally pushed the button. I didn't say the word.
You should,
You should have said beep beep.
Push the button.
Yeah, the horn works.
She goes, cool. Can you take a left at the light, go to the apartments, turn around and come back and pull right back in this parking spot? I go, really? She goes, yep. And I go, okay. So I did that. All of 45 seconds later, this distance for anybody that's listening, this is zero exaggeration. I don't think it's a quarter of a mile total distance there and
No,
back.
it can't be.
So, and I got my license and I left. And I went, wow, that was super easy. And I was stupid happy. And over the years, I went, it should not have been that easy.
You know what it was? That lady was so used to the guys that have never had a motorcycle license that come in there like, well, I got a ticket, so I need to get my license now. Just go up to
Just go.
Yeah, I mean, I never dealt with that. But at the same time, where I was riding my bike at, if I'd gotten pulled over, I don't think I would have got a ticket.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, there are places in Chattanooga that.
Yeah, but I was working for the fire department in that area.
they
I was riding my motorcycle.
Yeah, you wouldn't have. You better
Everybody knew that I had a motorcycle. And every single one of those police officers also worked for the fire department.
Yeah,
So yeah, you were good to go.
yeah, you were fine.
So, but I was extremely responsible. I never went out just joyriding, was like, hey, I'm going to do this. I took my time to make sure that I appropriately knew how to ride a motorcycle, and I still do that. That's why I'm very big on just getting out of the parking lot, having fun, doing circles, those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
If you drop your bike, you drop your bike, man. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
It's going to be the end of the world if you don't know what you're doing. You get act like an idiot on the road and get you or
actually
yourself
Get into an
hurt.
accident. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, go in a parking lot and practice.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm big about that now, because I was big about that then.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't worried about my capability of riding a motorcycle. I was worried about my capability of getting into traffic and getting into a situation where I went, oh shit!
Yeah.
So, I
Because in the grand
practiced.
scheme of things, I mean,
Right.
that's what you have to worry about on a motorcycle. You're not.
Is
Correct.
You may have skill and ability, but you do have to compensate for everybody else around.
yeah.
Correct. I tell people all the time when people are like, be careful. I'm like, it's not me you got to worry about.
It's the other cars. Yeah.
So, but that being said, they have rules.
Yes.
0 rules were followed the day I got my license.
That would be correct.
I mean,
Now, have the rules changed? We have an individual at the dealership that got his license 2 weeks ago. Not going to say any names.
Okay.
Okay? This person, just to clarify, has not been riding motorcycles at the dealership. Because they weren't on insurance.
Yeah.
So, because they didn't have a motorcycle license.
Yeah,
they
which-
were on insurance to drive the truck.
Yeah, but you need
They
to
were
have
not on
your
insurance to
motorcycle
have-
endorsement
To ride a motorcycle at the dealership.
yeah.
So, 2 weeks ago, they were like, hey, I think I'm going to go get my motorcycle license today. And I was like, fantastic. Where are you going? And they go, well, I was just going to go right here to Bonnie Oaks because it is down straight from shop. I go, great. Let me know how it goes. About 45 minutes later, they're back. Hey, I got my license. I was like, good for you. I knew you could do it. Yeah. They also went on their motorcycle,
Now, I will
which is
say,
a chopper that has no blinkers, barely has a headlight and tail light.
I mean, it's fine.
now, I
It's
will
fine.
say the DMV that's up there in Red Bank,
Red Bank.
actually has like a parking lot that's for.
Yes. So I know people that have went to Red Bank
Yeah.
and they're like, you don't leave the parking lot.
No.
Really?
No, because the parking lot, they
Is
have
it
a
set
side
up
area
for-
that's big enough
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
where they used to set out cones, but apparently they went out
they've
and painted it.
now. Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
basically
actually.
you just,
That's nice.
all it is like an S, you make a U-turn,
Yeah.
come back through the S, call it a day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nice though. to have that.
So
But they can see you the entire time.
they can't
True,
see you the
true.
entire time. At the Bonnie Oaks DMV, you have to walk around the front of the building to watch you drive to the apartments.
Yeah.
So
That's really hard.
yeah. But they don't do that now. They go down that back street.
Yeah.
Which is as soon as you're 50 feet away, they can't see you anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which the back street's probably better if you're trying to get a license.
What I never
Right.
understood though was they have a huge parking lot out back
They do.
that nobody's ever in.
No. But that would involve effort.
That would work.
Hey, go around the
That would
block,
probably
come
work.
back.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
good.
if you went around the block, you'd be going for like 30 minutes.
Turn around at the
Take a joyride.
reserve base right there.
Well, like Noah Reed is closed.
Oh, yeah.
So if
Yeah,
you went
you're
around the
done.
block, you'd go up to Hickson Pike. You couldn't go down Sanford Gap Road because Sanford Gap Road's closed.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to go all the way up to Shallowford, down Shallowford, onto 153, back off onto whatever that road is that cuts through from 58 to
Yeah.
Airport. Back around to Bonnie Oaks, back up to the
Just
shop.
do a joyride. It's fine.
You'd be gone
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
That'd
Yeah.
be a good 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
45 minutes if there's traffic or
Yeah.
any backup. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
lady's
an
gone-
hour if there's a train on Hickson
Well, see-
Hickory Valley.
The lady's gone back inside. She's like, it's lunchtime. Go do the
Just
block.
go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's extremely too easy.
Yeah.
I think we should have permitted license.
Mhm.
I am not under the belief, y'all can chastise me all you want, that you have to go to school.
I agree.
I think it's a good thing. Okay?
Yeah.
I do think it's a good thing. But I'm not going to tell someone that maybe has grown up with a dirt bike, hey, you have to go take this course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know people that have been riding for years that went and took the course and beat their head against the wall
Mhm.
because they were like, I didn't get anything out of the course except for my license. And we're talking about people that know how to ride.
Yeah. But now,
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
yeah.
You take someone like Muffin, she's been practicing, but she's going to go take the class. I
Yeah.
encourage her to go take the class because she has zero experience on motorcycles outside of riding around in the parking lots
Yeah.
practicing.
True. Yeah.
Those classes are geared towards brand new riders and people that have never ridden. Now, I will say, so me and Stephanie took the class prior to her getting her motorcycle endorsement.
Well, I will say this, there are some dealerships that will not let you take that bike home unless you have a license. They'll put it on trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They won't let you get on it right home though without a license.
Huh.
I
Fair
mean,
enough.
I used to work for one of those dealers.
I'm not surprised.
So that
Oh.
tells you who that is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not surprised. But there was a gentleman in that class, older gentleman, that had been riding for many years. And out of the two people that dropped their motorcycles that day, he was one of them. So, just because you have experience doesn't mean you're good at riding.
That's
Correct.
true. That's very
Well,
true.
and depending on where you are and what you're doing, I've heard from some people at some of these other classes, they're like, man, the things you want to do, how are you supposed to even know that without ever riding? And I go, I get that. But I've also heard some people go, well, they're talking about making a U-turn inside of 20 feet. How can you do that? And I go, you can't do a U-turn inside of 20 feet. There's a problem.
That's a roadway. Turn around in a street.
I could do a U-turn in a single lane.
Yeah.
I tried to do a U-turn the first time I got on the KTM, because I thought I was, badass. It's fine.
You are a badass. It's okay.
It's fine.
I said you are, not aren't. You are.
I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try it.
So, she's like, lean with the bike. Not when you're going that slow.
Right?
Lean! She had her knee on the ground.
Bike was up straight, but her knee was on the her knee was on the ground. Actually.
It was. Yeah.
So-
There's the bruise to prove it.
Yeah. So, do I think the class is appropriate for somebody, like you said, that's never rode before or very, very new at riding or something like that? Yes.
I think that's the ideal candidate.
I don't
for
want to
those
make it
classes.
a requirement.
No.
And on the tier licensing system, I would like to make it a test level.
Yeah.
Minimum time, or not a minimum, no minimum time period, test level.
Mhm.
So if you wanted to do, say, 4 tiers, you get your license, cool. When can I schedule my next appointment to go to tier 2? Cool. When can I schedule my next appointment to go to tier 3?
Yeah.
I don't want to make someone go through this because I've had a friend in Georgia where they do permits.
Yeah.
Now, with a permit in Georgia, from my understanding, There's a CC requirement. There is a time of day requirement.
Mm-hmm.
There is a distance requirement. You can't be so far from home. So basically, when he was riding with his wife on the back of a street glide in Florida, that was illegal.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I think some of those, especially for, I'm going to use an example, like a tier 1 rider. Someone that's gotten the first tier, like they just got their fresh license. I think having you don't ride past sunset, you ride between these hours, you don't ride certain distances, you don't have a passenger. I think that's a good thing.
Well, right. But I think it could go more as going, instead of saying tier 1, say permit level.
Yeah, permit level. But
Yeah.
I think that that's something I'm going to agree with. I don't generally like government oversight, but I think that's a safety issue.
But I would put in there a clause that if you did take the course,
yeah,
you can skip permit level.
I would agree.
I agree with
I
that,
think that's fair.
So what I would do is permit level,
Yeah.
which is, I would put it at 500 cc's.
Yeah, especially nowadays.
Period.
Yeah.
500 cc's, period. I don't want to go, well, it's 650 for cruisers. And
No.
No, just
500 cc's. So, 500 cc limit, daylight hours only.
Yep.
No passenger.
I think that's
for
that's
a
permit
fair.
level. This is not
Right.
an actual
This is your
full-fledged
permit.
license.
That I would require permits 90 days.
Yeah.
Minimum
Yeah.
90 days that expire after 1 year. So if somebody doesn't want to, they're like, okay, this is not for me, that's fine.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry about going and trying to renew it or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I think having the 500 cc cap, you're not going to be stuck on like a 125 for that full year.
No, you can get a CBR 500. It's a fun bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a lot of motorcycles you can get under 500 cc's that are very capable of doing everything.
There's a lot of bikes you could buy that are 500 cc's that are just fine.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's why I say 500 cc
Yeah.
cap.
Yeah.
That's
A
only
Rebel
fair.
500.
Yeah. But that also keeps you away from the 600 Super Sports.
Correct. That's why I put it at 500.
Yeah.
True.
Because, the first inclination would be to say, oh yeah, 650.
If you went 650, because most people would say 650 because of the 650 cruisers, you're going to have the guy that goes out and buys the 600 RR.
Yeah.
Of course,
and
yeah.
That is not...
It's not.
It's not the same bike.
No.
So, and it's easier than going asterisk or going, well, these bikes fall in a separate category. No,
Yeah,
let's
it's
remove all that.
Yeah.
Let's just say
permitted license stops at 500.
500
Yeah.
cc's.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, it expires after 1 year, and you can't renew. I would have a non-renewal.
Yeah. The permit is basically
You have-
get your abilities.
You
on
have
your-
1 year, minimum 90 days, maximum of 1 year, to move on to what I would then call tier 1.
Yeah. A full,
Okay.
let's just say a full license.
A full
tier
license,
one.
tier 1 full license, which gets you up to, we'll call it 800, because a lot of manufacturers
Yeah.
are moving from
I would say
750s to 800
Yeah.
cc's.
Maybe 5-6 years ago I would have said 750 because that was
Yeah, that
Right.
was
mid.
Right, but even like,
800.
Suzuki with their new 800,
Yeah.
stuff like that, we'll call it 800. So keep in mind, you can stay on your little 500. You ain't got to get a bigger bike.
Nope.
It doesn't. But just because you move to the new tier does not mean you have to be on a bigger motorcycle.
But you
can
are
have
allowed.
You can have a Grom
Yeah.
if that's what you
and,
like. Yeah.
and stay on your Grom.
But now you have a permanent license.
Correct.
Regardless of if
That-
you
that
continue
does-
on, you have
that-
a permanent license.
When I say it does not expire, it expires just like our regular motorcycle license does now.
You renew it every couple of years.
You renew it whenever you renew your driver's license. You renew your motorcycle
Yeah,
license.
it's a M endorsement on your driver's license.
Yes.
With
That
the
being
caveat.
said, I wouldn't be too dissuaded. They'd have to make the process a little bit easier. But I wouldn't be too dissuaded from saying, hey, if you have a motorcycle license, when it's time for renewal, you have to do a road test.
I mean,
that's I've thought about that with your regular driver's license.
Well, a lot of
I
people
have
are going to
to,
say
yeah.
at a certain age.
yeah, a certain
anyways.
age. Yeah.
And I would do it at a certain age for your regular driver's license. But for a motorcycle, a road test. Now, I would offer that ability to be done. I would offer it to where people could get certified. So basically, by the state, to give the certification or the stamp to go, yes, this person's still qualified.
Yeah.
To where they could go to their local dealership or come to like us. We would have somebody
Yeah.
certified. We're not talking about training school. We're not talking about all that stuff. You already are licensed. You're just coming and scheduling a ride with the certified person one day or a couple of people that are certified
Yeah.
and then go, ride a 10-mile loop together. That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
You're going out and riding 10 miles together and I go, hey, yeah, you still ride pretty good. Here's your stamp. Cool.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, you can still do it. You're
Yeah.
good.
Call it a day.
That's
Yep.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And
I would make it
Yeah.
simple like that.
yeah.
Now, if someone wants to get certified, we're not going to go down that road, but
Yeah.
that's a different world.
Yeah.
But I would be interested in doing stuff like that. Have the certification kind of be like
Basically, just a check.
Yeah.
Like, hey, a qualified person said that you're able to ride. You still have the skills and abilities to do so
almost like
safely.
Almost
like how somebody gets
continuing
notarized.
education.
Well, how somebody gets notarized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and because not to take away from somebody like my dad that went 30 years without a motorcycle but kept his motorcycle license the whole time.
Yeah.
Not to take away from him, but when he got back on a motorcycle, he was like, I got to get the hang of it for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because he hadn't been on a motorcycle in so long. There's a lot of people that they don't ride enough or
Oh, it's that they don't have that
or
confidence.
they
Yeah.
or they honestly
Shouldn't.
don't need to
Don't
be
need to be.
riding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it would have to be heavily vetted
Yeah.
on who would be certified and all this other stuff because you wouldn't want to be able, I got a buddy that does that. You pay him $50.
Well, and
Yeah.
even if it was heavily vetted, stuff like that's still going to happen.
Stuff like that is still going to happen, but realistically, when it comes down to it, you don't have to go, oh, you ride like an idiot? Well, I tell you what, so just got $50 and he'll just do it. Just ride normal for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I mean,
I don't know how to do that.
I got to do that.
I broke the transmission on my motorcycle. Trust me, I can ride like an idiot.
Well.
So, Tier 1, 800 cc's,
Yep. You don't have any restrictions other than a
Zero
60
restrictions.
limit.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is fair.
zero restrictions
That's fair.
except for max cc limit. Okay.
Tier
Tier
2.
2,
I think you need to have your Tier 1 license for a minimum of 6 months. I'm going to say
hey,
6
what if we
months.
change the cc limit to 900? Let's change it to 900.
Okay.
I mean, you could. Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
That's
then,
still fair.
then it's going to be a whole lot easier to go, hey, this person wants a Harley 883.
yeah.
True. Yeah.
They can get into a lower level sport.
That's fair.
Lower level Harley. Then,
Well, at that point, do we want to just say like 975? Because that keeps you away from.
I still want to
1,000.
stay below 1,000.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
you're still
Yeah.
below most
You're
of the
still-
1,000 cc bikes.
But the only problem you get into is like RS 900.
Yeah.
But a 600 RR is probably faster than
Oh yeah, for
an
sure.
RS
Yeah.
900.
So that's why I'm saying. Almost kind of like what
We'll say 990 cc's.
Yeah, whatever keeps you just below,
Below
the
1,000,
1,000
yeah.
cc super sports.
Yeah, well, when you get into super sports, it's usually like 996, 997, 998,
Yeah.
999, 1000.
Yeah,
So 990 cc's.
yeah,
Okay, and down. Not 999 because everybody's going to go, good thing my CBR 1000 is actually 999 cc.
Nope.
You're right, it is, but
But
you don't qualify.
you don't qualify.
990 cc's.
It don't work that way.
So 990.
yeah.
Okay. And then, now, but that is where I don't put a minimum time period on it.
Really,
No.
fair enough. Well, if we're requiring them to have a permit for at max a year, is there a minimum time? Minimum
90 days.
90 days. Okay, so then they go to Tier 1.
The thing is keep in mind, you don't have to be riding.
Yeah, you just have to have it.
You just have to
Yeah.
have it. So for somebody that has a dirt bike, I'm going to borrow a buddy's bike. I'm going to go get my permit real quick or whatever. You hang on to it for 90 days. And then you borrow another buddy's bike and you go get your Tier 1 and go ahead and
Yeah.
schedule Tier 2. So that eliminates a lot of a headache for people that know how to ride.
True.
Okay?
Yeah.
The only place that this comes into a problem for me is the guys that, from a business standpoint, the guy that wants to come in and buy a Street Glide that's 45 years old that's never rode a day in his life.
Yeah. You're then Harley's not going to do very well where they have very few bikes that are under 1,000 cc's.
But they can go take the rider's course.
Yep.
Skips the permit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And automatically puts them in tier 1.
Yeah. So now they can get an 883 or the 975.
Well, they can have their Street Glide. They just can't legally ride it. If they get pulled over, it still needs to be the same way where it's
they have a license that they can purchase it.
Yeah.
They can't.
So, have your Street Glide. Go take the course. Get your Street Glide. Go do this or whatever. Go ahead and get scheduled for your tier 2 because it might be the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, they'd figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in my mind, there'd be testing between permit tier 1 and tier 2.
Basically, what it comes down for me is people just need to. There's too many people. It's too easy here to get your license.
Yes.
But I don't want to detract from people that know how to ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And make it harder for them to get their license.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know people in Georgia that were just like, I'm just going to keep riding without a license.
Oh, a lot of people do.
A lot of people do that.
Because it's too hard to get your license. It's easier to get a gun in Georgia than it is to get your license.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But it's easier in Tennessee to get your motorcycle license than it is to get a gun in Georgia.
Yes.
I mean, you're not wrong.
That is true. I mean, I'm all for having better testing standards, doing something like that, having a tiered system like we're talking about. You have your permit period, you have a tier 1 and tier 2.
Well, that's why with the permit, I'm putting a minimum and a maximum.
Yeah.
I'm not putting a minimum time period between tier 1 and tier 2. Just to prevent punishment from people that know how to ride.
Yeah.
And
tier 2 is you can ride whatever you want. That's where
tier 2 becomes unlimited.
Yeah, it's just like your current motorcycle license. You have the ability to go ride whatever motorcycle you want with no restrictions.
You have to do riding tests every 7 years, 8 years, whenever our license expires.
I think it's like 7.
But doing this also, we're taking away state rights because we're talking about a national level test.
Yeah.
True.
But I mean,
there's some things that need to be standardized.
And honestly, I don't think that would be a bad standardization between all the states. You have a uniform licensing program for motorcycle riders. Now, I believe we should be doing the same thing with cars, too. A very similar, you get the teenager that gets a fucking Mustang.
I don't disagree with that.
A
16-year-old does not need a Hellcat.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Need to get a little Toyota Camry.
Are there 16-year-olds out there that can handle Hellcats? Yeah.
I'm sure, but
not as many 16-year-olds can handle Hellcats as 16-year-olds that can handle 1,000cc bikes, though.
Yeah.
I would guarantee you there's more 16-year-olds that could jump on a leader bike and ride it with no issues than there is 16-year-olds that can jump in a Hellcat and drive it responsibly.
But then again, with the opposite of that is we know 40, 50-year-olds that can't do either of those things. So
that's facts.
I don't think age is necessarily the issue.
Age is just a number.
I think
age does become a little bit of an issue, though.
When you're at the bottom and top, that's typically the issue.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as much of an issue when you're talking about 20, 30, and 40-year-olds.
No.
Or even 50-year-olds.
Yeah. I'd say 20 to 50.
20 to 50 is a
But
good.
when you're getting into guys in your 60s.
Yep.
My dad was in his 70s, and up until the day he died, you would have not known he was in his 70s. My mom and Heather's mom are both in their 70s, and you would not know that they're in their 70s.
My dad?
Okay? But Heather's dad has been on his deathbed since we've been dating.
20 years.
And we've been dating 20 years.
And he's 37.
Yeah. He's a year older than Heather.
Started young.
Yeah.
He is 72.
Yeah.
He's 72. Dude, we've been together for 20 years. And this man has been full gray hair on his deathbed since the day we've been dating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When he was 52.
Yeah. And that brings up...
And he can't ride like he used to. He can't.
No, he can't. He knows that, though.
Yeah.
He
at least acknowledges it.
Well, I think he acknowledges it, though.
With it.
because of how much, like, you and I that are around him talk about these types of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
But at the same time, Marvin
Who
is
is
also in his early 70s
extremely capable.
and
Oh, yeah.
can stay on my bumper the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah. He calls me slow.
Well, you are.
Yeah.
But,
Captain Slow.
but like, if I told okay. let's just keep an eye.
Yeah. I'll keep
So
an eye
keep
on
an
this
eye
time.
on it.
Anyways.
Sorry, technical
So-
difficulties.
It's fine.
So, like I was saying, with Marvin's not going to have an issue with that.
Yeah.
He's going to understand because he's on the same page as people need to learn how to ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that's something that we've talked about in length. You're always learning. You can get better. Everybody can get better at riding.
True.
That's you talking about being in a parking lot somewhere, practicing, doing circles, donuts, things like that. You just practicing U-turns. Can't turn around in 20 feet.
Take our ADV training that we do at the dealership.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's been people that have taken that training that have been riding ADV bikes for 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
They're like, I got so much out of that class.
Oh, yeah.
And we're talking about a basic training course.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? As far as testing goes, I think courses like that should actually count as your testing. That's like a continuing education thing. Like you can,
Yeah, it's like
in lieu of taking a
Well,
test every
yeah.
7 years.
Okay,
you
maybe
prove
this is
that
what
you've
it comes
taken
down to.
It's like a
tests.
Maybe
CE
this is what
type
it comes
thing,
down
yeah.
to is not so much the tiered system. What we truly believe in is you don't need to take an idiot and put them on a motorcycle that can get them killed.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
And you need to have continued training and education.
Absolutely.
And that's
Absolutely.
only fair.
That is in the grand scheme of things. It boils down to we want people to be safe. We want people to know what they're doing. We want people to get out there and ride, but be safe.
Yeah.
Fine. Keep your licenses the way they are. But
Practice.
yeah.
Get some training. And like I know the conversation always comes up when I see it talked about in foreign countries with like CCs and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm doing this as so like I look at bikes like my KZ1000.
Yeah.
That's a nearly 50-year-old motorcycle. It's a 1000 cc, so
Yeah.
technically
Yeah.
that'd be a tier 2 licensed motorcycle. You have to have it's 10, 15 cc's. That's above the limit. You have to have a tier 2 license in our theoried world that we just created.
But even now, when you compare modern bikes to that motorcycle, that is still a enhanced skill level riding bike. Just because I wouldn't take someone just because they can ride a modern leader bike
Yeah.
and put them on one of your KZs
Yeah.
because they're going to go, it's not stopping. But they don't.
Yeah.
They don't know. They don't
Yeah.
have. Just because they can ride this bike
Yeah, with all
Yeah.
the
Doesn't mean
electronics and
they
control
have-
and things like that.
doesn't mean they have that skill or fortitude to go. This is an older bike.
It's a completely different
It's
feel. It's
Yeah.
it's not
yeah.
going to handle as well. It's not going to stop as fast. All of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, that's where everybody should start on something that's really
Something
old,
that's
that
old.
doesn't have any electronics on it. They have no safety features, no ABS, no stability control, nothing like that. Bare bones, barely even starts.
Hey.
With the cost of everything,
It
that's
takes
where
a
a lot
lot.
of people starting at anyway.
Yeah.
That being said, I have been given the opportunity
Okay.
to ride a very vintage Harley Davidson.
Oh,
Oh.
is it one of the ones at the dealership?
No,
Oh,
I just have to travel to ride it.
okay. Where do you have to travel to?
Oh, we need to do this anyway.
Cool
but-
Springs, Tennessee.
Okay.
We have been invited by Sean
Okay.
of Bikes and Beards to come up to his place
Really?
and podcast.
Okay.
And he said he'd let me ride his 36 knuckle.
Oh, that would be badass.
Nice. I just want to
Yeah.
sit on it.
That's one of those things. Can I ride a 36 knuckle? Yes, I can. Have I ever rode one? No. How do
Yeah.
I know I can ride a 36 knuckle? Because I know I can jockey shift. I know I can foot clutch. And I know it's a 1936. I told him, I said, what I'm worried about with a bike that old, because I have rode a very old WL.
Yeah.
Okay. The WL I rode did not have a spark advance. he told me, and I said something about that. He didn't really touch on that, but he was like, you don't have to worry about that. So his might not have a Spark Advanced. That I don't know how to operate that. That is you have to learn to do that.
Yes.
So maybe that's not an issue, or maybe once it gets running good, that's not an issue anyways.
Yeah, if it's already warmed up, then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I know I can operate a foot clutch because I've operated a foot clutch bike before. I know I can operate a jockey shift because obviously when I operated a foot clutch bike, it had a jockey shift.
Yeah,
So-
those kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
actually reversed. It's on this side. Crap.
so I would, that's like,
I'll figure out a time.
I will wee myself.
I'm sure you will.
So excited.
You'll have permagrand
Oh
for that.
yeah, I have
Yeah.
perfect grand 100%.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
100%. So
But once again, that's talking about learning and riding something with knowledge that you've learned from being safe and an advanced rider.
yeah,
Yeah, you're not, and you even talking about, well, I know how to do this, but it's still, it makes me nervous, and I want to make sure I do it right.
correct.
Yeah.
That's
Well, and it's like the one that I rode with a foot clutch, okay, was not the same type of foot clutch that's on that. The foot clutch that's on that, it's a foot rocker clutch. So when you push it forward, it's a neutral.
yeah,
You give it gas, it's not going to go anywhere. It's a neutral. It stays a neutral. You have to rock it back to come out of the clutch. Because it's not a spring actuated type deal.
okay,
So, but that's the thing. I literally know enough about it
yeah.
that I'm already starting ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not coming in with a blank slate, like,
Right.
gotta figure it out. As
I have rode a foot clutch bike. It's been several years. It wasn't Sean Shovelhead. Several years. I rode a foot clutch motorcycle actually when I worked at the Honda shop. There was a guy that had a Honda Chopper, VLX Chopper, that had a foot clutch and a jockey shaft.
Interesting.
And it was a spring propelled foot clutch. So when you push it in, clutch is in.
Yeah.
As you let your foot out, let your foot off of it, it automatically springs back and starts to engage.
Like a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
yeah, I have rode a foot clutch motorcycle with a jockey shaft, but the rocker style foot clutch, no, I haven't. But once again, I know exactly how they operate,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so it's not like
It's not completely something you've never even heard of.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, I want to build an Evo chopper that has a foot clutch, but I also want a spring actuated foot clutch. I don't want a rocker foot clutch.
Yeah. But the spring actuated just seems better. Seems like a more simple system.
It is a more simple system.
Yeah. Less room for error.
Correct.
Yeah. Since, I'm ready to go. Crap, I'm in neutral.
Yeah, pretty much. But the reason they had the rocker style was so you could put your foot down.
Makes sense.
Well, it's a spring actuated.
You're either in gear or you're not.
Correct.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys that have that, when they come up to neutral, they will or when they come up to a light, they'll just pop it in neutral.
Yeah. Either that or you have to hold the clutch the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeping it.
You don't want to do that with a very heavy motorcycle either.
No.
No.
So, anyways.
Well, that's exciting news.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Oh, also, since we were talking about it before, and I haven't talked about it here, Marvin rode to Atlanta. I went back to the old folks convention, aka the hog training.
I cannot.
Went to Atlanta this time. This has been over a month ago, actually.
Yeah.
I haven't talked about it. Because
Yes, now you have to
for
talk
the past
about
2
it.
years, I stood up and told them the biggest problem with the hog chapter was everybody was too old. I didn't have to do that this time because the very first thing that was said was by a lady much older than me, said, how do we get and retain younger members of the hog chapter? And I was like, my work is done.
I've imparted enough knowledge. I don't have to do it again.
So, that being said, there was 3 hog officers there that were younger than me. Now, granted, I'll be 40 this year, but 2 of those hog officers were in their 20s.
Which is a huge thing.
Yes, it
That's
was.
massive.
Yes, it was.
And that's something that we've harped on here multiple times, talking about getting younger people into riding and, getting them to stay riding.
Yeah.
You know, it's a you look at younger generations, and it's not a desire like it was for us
No.
growing up in the the late '90s, early 2000s. So I think that's great. I think that's great that they have younger members of the Hog Chapter, more leaders of the Hog Chapters.
But yes, so I rode down there with Marvin and Fritchie. We were not 100 feet down the road, and I made the statement about I didn't know if I was in an episode of Secondhand Lions, but I did know that it was more like an episode of Grumpier Old Men. They bickered they bickered like grumpy old men.
Yeah,
Like an old married couple?
No, like watch the movie Grumpy Old Men.
yeah.
I've seen it.
They acted just like that. Like no
Marcus,
difference.
that's your future. That's your future. Down the road.
That is not my future.
That is y'all's future right there.
That
Both
is
of y'all.
not my future.
Both
That
of
is
y'all.
not our future. You want to know why?
Why?
Because that's our reality.
Hey everybody, this is Sean at White Lightning Harley Davidson. I want to thank you for listening to the Daily Biker Podcast. You can reach the podcast on Facebook or Instagram at The Daily Biker, or you can email the podcast at thedailybiker@gmail.com. Be sure to keep an eye on White Lightning Harley Davidson social media pages for the most up-to-date information on all our events and where you can find the boys.